So how many of you are feeling like time is slipping away whilst you're waiting for your manifestation to show up? Be honest. Maybe some of you are too focused on time. You're wondering, is it even possible to manifest something on a deadline? Or why is it that some desires come really, really quickly, but others just seem to take forever, especially the things that you truly desire? Perhaps you probably heard many people talk about how you can speed up your manifestation, but does any of it actually work? Today, I'm going to share something a little bit different from the usual advice that you get here. And the fact that it's not about forcing things to happen faster. It's about understanding why time affects manifestation differently for everybody and how you can release the pressure that's slowing you down, understanding this so you can get out of your own way. And we're going to focus on three core elements, three core issues that people tend to face that is potentially slowing things down for them. So we'll delve into this today. Thank you all for joining me. I'm Athena Raven. And if you are feeling frustrated and anxious about how long your manifestation is taking, which I know many of you do slip into this trap, whether it's a relationship that you're manifesting, it's success, it's something personal, then this video is for you. I know many of you are wondering how long is it going to take, and many of you have asked about if you can manifest on a deadline. But why is it that for some people it seems to be so easy, so simple, and for others it just seems to be more of a struggle? Well, what I'm about to share with you is hopefully going to completely shift your understanding of time and how it impacts your manifestation. And like I say, we'll focus on three key main aspects here that are really, really common in slowing things down and how we can address each one of them. Okay, so stay with me here. And this is essentially how you can speed things up, so to speak. But you see, in the world of manifestation, time is not linear in the way that we think it is. Okay, time as we experience it is simply a reflection of our internal states. That's all you're ever experiencing. Your beliefs, your emotions, your assumptions is consistently getting projected into this world. Even your beliefs about time and how long you think it's going to take, and you think it's taking a long time, which then causes you to act in certain ways and therefore pushes things further away from you. Remember, as Neville Goddard has always stated, as I've often quoted, every seed has its appointed hour. The moment that you shift your state of being, the moment that you assume essentially that this desire is already yours, you've taken ownership of it, perhaps you've decided it with a strong intention, perhaps you have foreseen it, imagined it numerous times, you've already owned that, you're already working that job, you already are that person, you're already in that relationship, then the manifestation is set in motion instantly from that moment on when you've shifted your state of I am. It's not something that you're waiting for. The waiting and the separation is the illusion of this 3D reality, right? It's something that is already here. It's something that you already are. And no matter what your 3D circumstances is showing you, you're able to accept that and embody that with enough conviction and inner peace so that even in the face of obstacles, you're staying quite true to that, So it is instant in that sense that I've shifted my state, ergo, my perception changes immediately. My perception of my external world begins to shift the moment I have changed my I amness. That's what I've personally noticed. And you see this change reflected in your reality. This is why many of you get so confused with this and thrown off. It's because you can't see it yet with your 5 earthly senses, but it does not mean that things aren't moving behind the scenes. Remember, there's only so much information that my earthly senses can pick up, but you don't currently know what's going on with your SP or your boss or family members or the government or whatever institute you're manifesting, whatever situation needs to unfold. You can't be aware of all the moving pieces of the puzzle. The universe is, God is, higher self is. But me, I'm a human being. I'm limited in many ways, and my senses are limited too. So this is why it's important to have a sort of detachment from your senses. I'm not just judging my success based on what I can see and feel in this world. I'm judging by a higher self, a higher sense, okay? So let's have a look at the 3 key reasons now as to why some manifestations seem to take longer for some people than others and all the rest of it. So number 1 is going to be resistance and limiting beliefs, which of course you knew I was going to say. Okay, so first up, when it comes to resistance and limiting beliefs, so sometimes we're holding on to past experiences, fears, grief, particularly things like manifesting a specific person, for example. Maybe you're going to have a lot of unresolved pain from the relationship or fear of being hurt again, which is really understandable, right? Your unconscious mind is designed to help you, to be on your side. It's impartial. You know, it doesn't know good or bad or right from wrong. It only accepts as truth what you consistently tell it and accept as truth for yourself. So your subconscious mind is holding on to these beliefs, to these fears, to these old stories, essentially for your protection. And so that's why I don't want you to be feeling like you're fighting with the mind. That's why I say you're never fighting with your mind. This is your protector, okay? It might not be, it might not be interpreting things the right way. It might not be helping you at the moment in the way that it thinks it is, but that's okay. It just requires you, I should say, to shift your focus, to change your mindset. And so I want you to think of it like this. Your mind is an overzealous security guard, okay, working overtime, scanning for all the threats, even if there's nothing but pigeons outside. You're not in danger, Susan, you're just in love. But this security guard of the subconscious can sometimes lock you out of the very thing that you want. And I've seen this numerous times with my clients as well. And maybe you guys have experienced it too. You want for something, you desire for it, and at the same time, you're fearful of it. At the same time, I want it to come. I'm not ready for my SP to come yet. I need to heal. I need to lose weight. I need to look a certain way. I want that dream career, but I'm not ready yet. I need to get more confident before I can present myself the best possible way. I need to be more assertive, or I need to be more. You see, we always put these conditions inadvertently in the way. Some of you don't realize that you're doing it. You've got to think of it like you're wanting to enter a VIP club. That's your goal. That's your desire. You put it as the VIP club, right? It just feels like it's on the pedestal. And your subconscious mind is the bouncer that thinks you're on the blacklist right now. It's not letting you in. It's standing there like, nope, no entry. Now, you're not going to fight with your subconscious mind. You're not going to try and push it and shove it and ram affirmations down it and force it to do all these techniques, force it to imagine, force it to be positive. I'm forcing you to let me in, bouncer. That's going to be met with a lot of resistance. You're just going to get kicked out every single time, barred for life, right? Instead, what you want to do is you want to negotiate with it. You want to retrain it gently, okay? Bringing in the evidence where possible. Here, you want my ID? You want the proof of my new story, the new state? Because oftentimes when I work with people, they feel like they have no proof as to being chosen. They have no proof that this could actually happen. And I'm finding, because I suppose I'm objective and I'm experienced, I can find a wealth of evidence to assist them in changing states. You're also opening up to the possibility, because maybe there is no solid evidence around you that you can have what you desire. But if you look for it, there is. And even if you can't, it's about knowing and understanding the law at how it works. It's a possibility right now. I can have it. And so I need to reason with it, I need to reason with this bouncer and show him the ID, step aside so that the new programming can begin. This is why we use hypnosis, and we often refer to the critical faculty of our mind as a bouncer at a nightclub as well, whereby I use language patterns in hypnosis to tap that critical faculty out on purpose, put the bouncer to sleep so that you can enter into the club and have a great time and make that your home. But for those of you who are doing it at home, you know that you can do this as well with the gentle imaginal act or meditations, or I've included hypnosis on my channel too to help you to start that reprogramming. Now, I'm going to get a little bit philosophical on you here, and I'm going to talk about the Hermetic principles. As you know, there's a principle called the principle of correspondence, which states, as within, so without. And this means the outer world is always a reflection of your inner beliefs and states, okay? If there is a resistance on the inside, then you're going to experience that resistance on the outside, whether it's through rejections or pushbacks or various obstacles and things getting in your way, right? That's the inner resistance that you have that needs to be looked into, you need to be aware of, it needs to be addressed, okay? Otherwise, things start to feel very slow, and this is why you feel stuck. So when you address these subconscious blockages effectively in this way, then things start to flow. You get to enjoy the present moment more. You don't feel like you're waiting anymore. It's like the moment that you've realized that you were the nightclub owner all along. And now you have the power. Now you've regained that control. You can give that bouncer the night off and let yourself go into the VIP section of life, get into the VIP club with no issues and live out your best life now because you choose to, knowing that everyone and everything, the bouncer included, is all working in your favor, working to help you get this. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is going to be the psychological detachment, which a lot of people really, really struggle with this. And I know many of you are engaging in all sorts of techniques to detach. One of the most common things I get asked is, how do I detach, Athena? Can you give me any tips and tricks? Like there's a fast way around it. I never focus on physically detaching because for me, detachment comes as a byproduct of having done that internal shift work, okay? That's the kind of indicator to me that I've shifted, I've changed my state. And now I'm sort of in that acceptance. You know, we have to really think about it this way, okay? Manifestation, remember, is instant, okay? And this is going to help a lot of you detach. There's no special magic trick to it, okay? But just listen closely, okay? When you're glued to the outcome, okay, and by that I mean, for example, I'm refreshing my phone every 5 minutes to see if they've texted back. We've all been there, myself included. You know, or you're, I don't know, over analyzing every little thing, or checking to see if there's any change, any movement, checking to see. It's like trying to bake a cake when you keep on opening the oven door every 2 minutes. It's not going to rise. It's not going to happen. You're constantly digging up that seed and you're not allowing it to grow. You're making it stagnant. You're making it stop, essentially. It's like when you're waiting for something to, you're waiting for the boiling pot, was it the heated pot to boil? Seems to take, if I'm standing there watching it and checking it every 5 minutes, it takes a lot longer than if I've just put it on the stove and I've gotten on with my life and let that boil, however long it takes. But it seems to take much less time when I'm actually doing stuff, when I'm living life. That's why I say to you guys, you're not waiting. Don't wait. Live your life, because the whole time you're waiting, you're dragging out this illusion of time. You're making it seem so much longer than it needs to be. In psychology, we talk a lot about cognitive fusion, which is basically when you get too attached to your thoughts. You start believing that the thought of, I don't have this yet, and you know, is this really happening? Is it just like, is it ever going to happen? Why is it taking so long? I better check and everything. I need some external validation. You know, we create a sense of lack by constantly checking to see if this manifestation has arrived, by constantly checking to see if there's movement so we can have that validation, by constantly checking and looking for some sort of sign that it's happening. And what does that do? That inadvertently reinforces the lack, keeping us in a lack state. So we're not focusing on the outside and checking for external validation. Your focus and attention is always inside, okay? As Neville Goddard teaches us to live in the end and assume this feeling of this wish being fulfilled. When you're imagining it, your wish has been fulfilled. That needs to impress upon you. And when you've fully embraced that feeling, it's like you've already had what you desire. You've already done it. You've already obtained it. So you naturally let go of that constant need for reassurance, and the manifestation speeds up quite naturally. It feels like it speeds up because we're not watching and checking anymore, like I said, with the watched pot to boil, right? In other words, just stop watching the cake to see if it's baked and just let it bake already. It's already happening, okay? All of us have put our cakes in the oven right now whilst I'm talking to you, and it's baking as we speak. So now it's about, let's just enjoy the time. Let's hang out a bit, okay? So now we've got the bridge of incidents. So number 3, and this is something that is talked about a lot by people, but is hugely misunderstood. I mean, I've even heard that there are content creators who are stating that they can control the bridge, they can control time, all my manifestations happen in 3 days. And I've always said to people, have they ever consistently proven that? Here's my Ferrari in 3 days. All right, guys, I'm going to manifest a new home. 3 days, here it is. You know, here's the timestamps, here's the date. I'm going to manifest a new SP, 3 days, here it is. You will never ever see anyone doing that, because it is impossible to, because we do not control time. We do not control the bridge of events. We don't actually measure in terms of time when it comes to this. And I'll explain all here. So when you think of the bridge of events, I want you to think of it as a series of dominoes. All of you know what dominoes are, right? not the pizza restaurant, right? But a series of dominoes, okay? And these dominoes needs to fall. So as soon as your desire is set into motion, life is naturally going to rearrange itself to bring your manifestation into physical form, okay? So whatever needs to happen, people are going to be moved, events and circumstances are all being aligned right now, even as we speak, to match with your new state of being. But here's the thing. Sometimes there's a lot of dominoes. There's a lot of dominoes, okay, in that sequence. So for example, if you're manifesting a specific person, I mention this because a lot of you are, but it doesn't matter. It could be, like I say, anything. But say I'm manifesting a specific person, I'm not just dealing with that person as much as I might think I am. I might be dealing with, for example, their boss. And maybe their boss needs to have a thought that needs to set off a sequence of events that then gets them angry with your SP, that maybe needs to fire your SP so that then your SP can move cities, and then maybe they can bump into you at a cafe or something like that. Or maybe your friend's car has to break down so that they take the bus one day, and who do they meet? And, so the universe is like the ultimate event planner, Source, God, is the ultimate event planner, rearranging everything behind the scenes so that, it's all working in your favor. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to worry about it. And let me tell you, that universe, God, source, whatever, that event planner of yours, the divine event planner in the sky or wherever it is, I tell you, it's got some skills. It has really got some skills. And if there's anything that you should have learned from watching my content or watching my success stories or that of other people's that have been shared, I mean, even I get amazed by some of the incredible success stories that you share, where you can just see how intricate this bridge is, how much is unfolding. Even the insignificant little events like spilling a cup of coffee is working in your favor. I've had a client who's mentioned that to me before, how spilling a cup of coffee set off this chain of events that led to her success. But I don't get many people coming to me going, oh, Athena, I've got great movement. Everything's working out. I'm on the bridge. Because guess what happened to me today? I spilt my coffee. My Costa's coffee went all down my dress. I am so excited about this. It's all working out for me. Like, you'd never know that it was working in your favor. Sometimes these events are not so obviously translated, but it is. That's where the faith comes in. We need to understand that all of these moving pieces of the puzzle that needs to happen in order for your desire to be manifest perfectly, it might take a little bit of time in the 3D world. In the 4D world, I'm instantaneously it. I have experienced it. I collapse space and time. But we're in the physical world here. We share this planet with billions of other perceptions, souls, lives, worlds that are going on right now simultaneously. And so our bridges have to unfold in such a way that it keeps us in harmony with that, keeps us in harmony with the natural laws as well, right? So it might take a little bit of time, but that doesn't mean that it's not happening. And it doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. But there could be a lot of things going on behind the scenes that you're not aware of. It's like, it's not like Amazon Prime or something where your manifestation can arrive in a couple of days with a tracking number, right? Although that would be nice if it was the case. But we've got to think of it that although we're in an instant world with everything else and with internet and Amazon even, your manifestation is a bit different, right? So I know that a lot of you are going to be perhaps wondering as well, for example, so, okay, my friend managed to manifest a job in a couple of weeks, but I'm still waiting for my specific person and it's been months or it's been years. Now, what's going on with that? And another way that we can look at this as well is that you have to think as well about how many people need to be moved in a situation. Like I've mentioned before, manifesting a job might involve a handful of people. Manifesting money might involve a few more people, your potential employer or someone leaving the position or someone in, HR as well gets involved, or some random stranger gets involved, or some business owner or nightclub owner gets involved, right? You don't know how many people need to be involved in this. But manifesting a relationship could include all kinds of events. Same with other things as well. And so we have to be aware of that. With your SP, like, you don't know about their, with the higher self, God, universe, whatever you're talking about. It could be taking into account their work schedule, their friends, their family, your friends and family. Maybe your ex might even need to meet someone new before they become emotionally available for you. I've seen that happen enough times. It even happened with my own journey numerous times, right? So it's like the universe, God's source, is playing a massive game of chess right now on your behalf. Okay, it's on your side. It's always got your back. So it's not about time as we think about it, as we measure it in hours, days, weeks, months, but it's more about the number of events, the number of people, the circumstances that need to align. That determines how long it takes. And so you can understand why those sorts of things, me as a limited human being, it is out of my grasp in this physical world. As my God self, I can connect to that in my 4D. I can imagine it. I collapse all of that. I am it now. And I can take that feeling with me into my 3D. I'm not being delusional whilst I'm here. It's happening. Whilst I'm here, it's happening, because at the core of it, I already am it. But if you're manifesting a lot of things at once as well, which all of us are, because we're always setting intentions, we don't even realize that we are, then maybe we've also got a lot of bridges going on in different areas of our life. Same with your SP, same with other people, right? So no wonder it feels like there is a lot going on behind the scenes, a lot more than we can even fathom. That's what I mean. Try not to judge it, because your earthly human senses are very, very limited in all of this. Now, I know that some of you are probably still very anxious and are feeling, connected to time, because there are some time-sensitive manifestations, like, for example, with love, having children. I know for women that's a very big one as well, where we're worried about our biological clock. What about goals, whereby you feel that there's a deadline looming, like there's bills or exams or, I don't know, competition date or something. The pressure of time, and you guys who are focusing on a deadline and manifesting to a deadline, you're actually causing yourself more resistance inadvertently, because when we feel rushed, we're focusing on the lack. When I'm feeling rushed, I'm not in a state of peace. I'm imagining out of force, out of fear, out of desperation. That's not going to impress in the same way as a quiet and calm mind that is willing to accept what I am seeing or feeling or hearing or touching or tasting in my imagination. So remember that as well. For those of you who are on a deadline, remember that things always happen on time. It's never ever late. If you are manifesting for a specific outcome that requires you to have it done at a specific time, then trust me, it will be. When I was in a predicament with my home, and my bridge of events put me through a turmoil, financial turmoil, I was moved to set up my business, but for the first 2 months, I was not in a situation to be able to afford my mortgage. And I could not worry about that. I could not start setting my intention to that. I just knew within that this is taken care of, because I'd already foreseen that I was going to keep my home. I'd already foreseen that I was going to have a business. I was going to have a successful business at that. And so it was an incredible bridge of events that, yes, bang on time for my mortgage in November. First SP comes in, gives me the money. Bang in time for my second mortgage then in December. An old client of mine comes in, had some extra money and stuff, gifted me that. Enough for me to pay off my mortgage each time. Everything worked out perfectly until I was able to do it on my own. See, so the truth is, focusing on a time pressure and manifesting techniques that, yeah, it's going to do it in the next day, 24 hours now, it actually delays things. I'm doing it out of lack. I'm doing it in a sense of urgency. But if I can release that sense of urgency and just trust in the process and focus on my desired end result rather than the time, then your manifestation unfolds much quicker than you think. That's why I've had manifestations that unfolded in 5 weeks and 7 years before, and not once was I focusing on the time. Same with people that I ask about their successes. Were you sitting there worrying about time, thinking about it all the time, counting down the days? You'll find that they all say no, they were just getting on with their lives. So what can you do right now? For those of you who are a bit stressed out, right? What if time wasn't a factor? How about I ask you that? What if you could just trust that your manifestation is unfolding perfectly right now, at the perfect moment for you? Just imagine that for a moment. Release time. Release how. And just trust that it's working out, even though it's not at the pace that you expect, even though it's not happening in the way that you expected it to. Know that it's okay, know that it's perfect. You don't have to worry about that. Imagine that you can just release that now. Just let go. I don't have to worry about when. It's happening right now. Every word I say is bringing you closer to your manifestation in the physical world. Right now, the gears of your world are turning in your favor. And the moment that you stop obsessing over the when and release the anxiety, you know, the universe, God, source begins to align everything seamlessly. Just imagine that every little detail now is moving into place. Every person is being moved. Events are shuffling to bring you closer to your desire. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? When you think of it like that, everything is being moved and everyone is being moved based on the intentions that you're setting right now. How incredible is that, right? Why are we worried anymore? So just take the moment to just imagine your end result, to feel it out regularly, because you can, because it feels good to do so. Release the how and the when and how long it's going to take and why isn't it here yet. Release all of that. We don't need to worry about that, like I said, for numerous reasons. And the more that you can detach from it, the more that you can enjoy life and the more that you can just realize that everything's working out for you and it's all good. So I really hope that this video was helpful. Please remember to like, to subscribe, and share your experiences in the comments below. How do you guys deal with time in your own way? Do you have any things that you want to share? How are your manifestations going? Any successes as well? You know, I love to hear from you. All of my links are in the description box below as well if you want to join our Discord or one-to-one coaching, or just have a look on my website and see all the incredible success stories that you guys have been posting on there. I love and appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.